You're watching Service Electric 2 Sports, presented in high definition.
It's not the Great Pumpkin, it's Easton and Emmaus in the 3A final for the third straight year, while Bangor and Southern Lehigh aren't afraid of no ghost as they meet for a fourth year in a row. And we break down all the tricks and treats to come in the District 11 football tournament. Happy Halloween! This spooktacular edition of Sports Scene starts now.
You're watching Lehigh Valley Sports Scene.
There's a snake in my boot. Good evening, everyone. Happy Halloween. Welcome to this evening's edition of Woody's Roundup. Lehigh Valley Sports Scene. Alongside Little Red Riding Hood, I am Sheriff Woody. We've got a lot to get to on tonight's program, but Red, you were able to sneak away from the Big Bag Wolf long enough for tonight's show?
Yes, me and Grandmother were saved just in time by the woodsman, but don't ask what happened to the wolf.
Okay, well, we won't do that. We do have a lot to get to on tonight's program. A little bit later on, a rare unicorn sighting, and Guru the Clown is here to break down the District 11 football tournament. I tried to get Buzz Lightyear on set, but he's busy on a secret mission in outer space. So we're going to start with District 11 field hockey and the 3A championship for the third consecutive year. Easton taking on Emmaus. The Green Hornets looking for an unprecedented 31st consecutive district crown. The Red Rovers, though, stood in their way. With the highlights from last night's title contest, here's Tom Mykratz.
Easton got a third chance in a row to dethrone Emmaus in a district field hockey final last night and make history, ending the program's decades-long dominance as district champion. The second game at Whitehall saw the scoring come early for the top seed. Rachel Urbine finds a seam front and center just 3 minutes into the game for her 51st goal as a freshman, 1-0 Green Hornets. Urbine then plays the assist role with 21:56 left in the first half, going to senior Caitlin Census, and Emmaus was off and running, putting Easton in catch-up mode. That hole got deeper less than 2 minutes later. Abigail Burnett with the helper to Madison Bruns. Emmaus now ahead 3-0, less than 10 minutes into the game. Easton, though, is awarded a penalty stroke, and Olivia Watson converts to dent Emmaus' advantage, but not for long. Green Hornets quickly regained the 3-goal differential 52 seconds later, with Annika Urbine scoring to make it a 4-1 Emmaus lead at halftime. Easton did press more offensively in the second half as the rain picked up, but Emmaus' corner defense kept the Red Rovers from cutting into its 3-goal lead. A scoreless second half results in the Green Hornets winning 4-1 for the program's 31st district title in a row. Easton settles for runner-up for a third straight time.
It feels really good to have a win against Easton. They're a very good team, and they go out there and they're ready to play. But I think we were more prepared today. We went out there, we were ready to fight, we were ready to get that championship win for Coach, for the previous players that have gotten the rest of the championship, so that we get 31.
I know that 31, that's a big, I don't know, it's like it's super big over our heads, and we're really stressed about it, but we didn't want to overthink it because it's just one game, it's one championship.
You always want a team to perform and to be at their best when it's a championship game. We did a heck of a job preparing these kids. We got an outstanding coaching staff.
Both teams now get ready for state play, which begins Tuesday. Of course, the Green Hornets will be staying close to home, while the Red Rovers will be hitting the road. On the scene at the Zephyr Sports Complex, Tom Mykratz, 2 Sports.
So congratulations to the Green Hornets. How about that? 31 district titles in a row. Head coach Sue Butz-Staven now 969 total victories in her 44 years at the helm. As Tom mentioned, both teams now moving on to the state tournament. Best of luck to the Rovers and the Green Hornets as they get PIAA action underway on Tuesday.
Yep, right now we're going to stay with some field hockey. Southern Lehigh and Bangor meeting up for the second year in a row in the District 2A championship game. The Slaters winning last year's contest 2-1 for their first district crown. Spartans coming in undefeated up until this point at 20-0, but the Slaters very hungry for that two-peat. The defense is showing up in this first half of the district championship, not making things easy for either team offensively. Bangor leading it in shots and corners, but no one able to find the back of the cage, making it a 0-0 game at the half. Completely different story for both offensive here in the second. The Spartans the ones to put on the pressure early, and after 4 straight corners, Spartans Mackenzie Reese sends it in, a scramble in front, leading to the score from Lana Hughes, and Southern Lehigh will take the 1-goal lead with 23 minutes remaining. Banger taking over from that point on, Michaela Hartzell receiving it off the corner. That one is popped up and finding the stick of Kaylee Holland. She'll put that one away, and we are all tied up at 1 with 15 to go. The ball will find the stick of Hartzell once more. She'll send it in, and the deflection off of the stick of Reagan Hurd. That'll find the back of the cage. The sophomore will give her team the 2-1 edge with just 11 minutes remaining in this one. Spartans almost tying it back up just a minute later. Brianna Stock's shot will be denied by the post, and that'll do it as the Slaters hand the Spartans their first loss on the year while also securing their second straight district gold.
To come out here and defeat an outstanding 20-0 Southern Lehigh team is, I mean, it just shows hard work does pay off. They've overcome a lot of things this year, my team, and we've talked a lot about the beauty of failing once and then being able to overcome that and how it leads to success. And these kids believed. I mean, they believed, we knew we were going to do it tonight.
It feels so great to come back and win another one 2 years in a row. And we worked harder this year, I feel, and we all came together as a team in this game, and I think it felt so great.
My teammates always tell me to keep my stick on the ground, and I trust them to get it to my stick. So I just have trust in my teammates. But once it went in, I screamed. I was so happy.
We're going to prepare the same that we've been preparing. We're going to make adjustments where we see fit, and we really look forward to moving ahead and putting ourselves on the map.
Congratulations, of course, to both teams. Southern Lehigh will see their season come to a close, but able to make it to both the league and district championship game, winning the League One, of course, and only 1 loss all year. So still very impressive for the Spartans. Banger, on the other hand, will move on to the PIAA state tournament. They'll see the 4th place team out of District 3 that is set to get underway next week, the 5th. And Bangers in the state tournament last year lost in the 2nd round, so we'll see if they can get a little further this year.
Absolutely, yeah. Congratulations to the Slaters and, of course, the Spartans on a phenomenal campaign as well. We close our field hockey district championships with a look at the single A bout. This between top seed Moravian Academy and 2nd seeded Northwestern Lehigh. Now in single A, both of these teams had already punched their ticket to the state tournament, which gets underway next week. But that single A champion to be crowned last night. With the highlights, here's Courtney DuPont.
The action in this matchup didn't start till 15 minutes into the first half. A third-party call on Northwestern in the circle would result in a Moravian Academy corner where Cassie Romantrick would send the ball to the top of the key. The play doesn't work out, but the Lions would still get a shot off. Annie Hull takes the first. Ball rebounds out to Emma McWilliams, and the Lions would take a 1-0 lead over the Tigers. But Northwestern came to play, and before halftime, they would tie it up. From the corner, Reagan Hernandez sends it in to Lauren Shellhammer. She stays low and muscles through 2 Lions. Then she finds the back of the cage to make our score 1-1 at halftime. And in the second, tough defense would shine. With 12 minutes left in regulation, Moravian was closing in on the Northwestern goal. The send-in from Romantrick results in a save by Maxine Hoffman, and her defense would support her from there, getting them the free hit on their own 16. But the Lions kept the pressure on. Coming back for more, Cassie Romantrick was posted up inside the circle, but Hoffman makes a diving save this time as the clock struck 0. So the second half would go scoreless. In that half, Northwestern cleared 6 Moravian Academy corners, and Maxine Hoffman had 4 saves. The Tiger defense knew they'd have to keep that performance up if they were going to defeat Moravian Academy in overtime, because the Lions have previously said that they enjoy playing 7-on-7. It gives them more space to pass. Exceptional ball handling skills from Romantrick would earn Moravian Academy a corner just 1 minute into overtime. But Northwestern would get the clear, and then it was the Tigers' turn. Obstruction on Moravian Academy earns Northwestern the corner. The play was initially designed for Shellhammer to take the shot, but Allison Myers would earn possession, and with a big push, she gets Northwestern Lehigh their first district title since 2004.
It means honestly everything. We want to keep going because from the past years we really worked up to this and worked together as a family.
And the leader of that family was their goalie, Maxine Hoffman, a junior who knew she had some big shoes to fill this season.
We lost two goalkeepers last year as seniors, one to Division I, one to Division II. She stepped in, and since the beginning of the summer, she has just upped her game. She knew it had to be her. She wanted that, and she proved that she could be a really good goalkeeper today.
On the scene from Whitehall for 2 Sports, I'm Courtney DuPont.
So from heartbreak a season ago in the championship loss to Lehighton, it goes to jubilation this year for the Tigers as they earn that single A district title. As I mentioned at the top, both the Lions and Tigers headed to the PIAA state tournament that gets underway on Tuesday. Northwestern will take on the number 5 seed out of District 3, while the Moravian Academy Lions will face off against the District 1 champs.
Congratulations, of course, to both teams. Now, Dan, it's Halloween, of course, and all day today I've just felt like the spooky presence was around me and following us all day long. And I think the studio might even be haunted. So what we're going to do is step aside. We're going to take a quick break, shifting away from district playoffs briefly. But when we return, really special story for you guys about an exceptional tennis player from Pleasant Valley. Stay with us.
Oh my God.
Just maybe walk up behind, just next to her. Just.
Yeah. Just like that. Yeah. Dan, Cass, back to you.
Okay, so over here now.
No. Can you guys hear me? Can they hear me?
Doug, you're going to do that move like when we're throwing a break.
On the bump.
Yes, on the bump.
When you say when we come back, we'll bring in Guru the Clown, then I'll walk around to you.
Is it gonna? I'm still gonna be in the shot.
It'll be the 3.
Okay. So I'll stay here.
That one.
So I'm gonna throw it back to you guys on the desk, and I'm gonna stay here.
Yep.
Okay.
So now
And then you can step out on my.
You can be behind me.
During the break.
I got a mic. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Oh, I can come up.
He's just standing behind us.
Happy Halloween, guys. As Dating Cass mentioned.
Oh, and I can.
As Dating Cass mentioned, great story about a tennis player. A female.
Somebody's poisoned the water hole. Welcome back, everyone, to Lehigh Valley Sports Scene. Sheriff Woody back alongside Little Red Riding Hood as we continue this Halloween-themed edition of Sports Scene. We're in the midst of district playoffs, which is a great time to enjoy a whole slew of inspirational stories from our local student athletes. But you don't just need the postseason to generate those inspirational tales.
Yeah, absolutely. And Una Court joins us now in studio as she has put together a very inspirational story about a Pleasant Valley tennis player.
Happy Halloween, everyone. As Woody and Red said, I do have a great story about a female tennis player from Pleasant Valley. But first, let me set the scene a little bit. Earlier this month, Liberty played Pleasant Valley in the District 11 3A doubles tournament at Lehigh University. Coming into that tournament, Liberty was ranked 6th overall, while Pleasant Valley wasn't ranked at all. But that didn't matter, because when this Pleasant Valley duo stepped out on the court, all eyes were on them. And it was because of a young girl who wasn't afraid to be a little different. Her name is Hope Hoppy.
What makes me different is that I was born without a hand and half of my forearm, which is mostly to some people would find a more limit, but I think of it more as a strategy in some ways and to overcome.
I think that it's great how she's still going for what she loves, even if she has limitations. She's still such a great player. It's crazy how she gets everything back. It would just be so difficult thinking like, okay, I'm still gonna go out and do this, and I respect her so much for that. How she just keeps on fighting for what she loves.
Liberty won that match, and although Hope was a bit disappointed, she was glad her competitors gave it their all. Because nothing bothers Hope more than receiving special treatment. Her tennis coach, Mark Allison, learned this 3 years ago when Hope first told him she wanted to be on the team.
She just wanted an equal, fair shot just like everybody else, and that's what we were going to give her. 3 years ago she started, she played JV. Last year she made the varsity lineup at the number 4 doubles spot, which is our last doubles area. She told me at the beginning of the summer, she said, I'm going to play singles this year, which only the top players play at singles. And she worked really hard this summer on her game, and she's our number 2 singles player this year, which is just amazing.
I would watch Roderick Federer on TV and be like, all right, I want to do that. I didn't know how to play, but I just knew that I wanted to play because it just looked cool. And when I started, I couldn't do a serve for the life of me because, you know, you have to throw the ball with one hand and hit it with the other. And I'm like, oh, this is going to take me forever. But later, I think Miss Ammerman, who was my JV coach, really pushed. Like, she did not let up at all, and that's what really got me through.
It's simple. Hope is stubborn, but stubborn in the sense that nobody is going to tell her no. Being quote-unquote normal doesn't interest her. Hope has always been and will continue to be true to herself.
I've been working with disabled adults for 35 years. But it's different when it hits home. And, you know, I tried everything. We brought her down to Children's Hospital in Philly to get her prosthetic arm, and she was like, no. They were like, why do you want one? I was like, I wanted her to learn to ride a bike like everyone else. I wanted her to have the opportunity of gripping onto something. And we brought it home. She took it off, said, you wear it. And I was just like, okay, she's going to do this without it. And she was a go-getter from the start.
A go-getter. That's a pretty perfect way to describe Hope. Throughout her high school years, she has set goals for herself, worked hard to achieve success, and shown gratitude to everyone who has supported her for who she is.
I'm around her so much, and we've been together so long that you don't even think about that at all. You know, she's just one of our better tennis players out there playing tennis, and she's the captain of our team. If you're lucky in your whole lifetime coaching to get somebody like Hope, you're a lucky coach, and I'm a lucky coach.
Hope is a senior. She's not sure where she'll go to college yet, but her athletic career at Pleasant Valley isn't over. She'll also compete this spring for the Bears softball team. After that, the sky is the limit.
She's going to be fine, and she's going to make it, and she's an inspiration to people with disabilities because she's not disabled. She does everything. All right? 2 years old, she put on her sock, got dressed, does her hair all by herself. She didn't need me. The whole world is her playground.
Providing you with a little piece of hope from Pleasant Valley. I'm Courtney DuPont for 2 Sports. The same way unicorns are unique and hard to find, young girls like Hope are just as rare, and not because of her physical differences, but because she's kind, good-hearted, and just an overall good person, and it was a pleasure getting to know her. Red, Woody, back to you.
Good job, Court. That really is such an inspiring story, and it's amazing to see how positive her outlook is on her life and her situation, and that nothing really can stop her.
Yeah, I love hearing her talk about how it's not a disadvantage. I'm going to actually use this as an advantage for myself. Great job, both by you, Unicourt, and of course by Hope as well. We're going to return to district football playoff talk. When we return, Doug Heater is off this week. Guru the Clown steps in as we get set to break down the District 11 football tournament. Stay with us.
I just wonder where I can clip this. All right.
So, do you want to cut anything, or do you want to try and like blitzkrieg through it?
I can go through it quick. Okay. Right? If we have to drop the last one, we drop the last one.
Okay.
You know, if we have to.
If we have to drop anything, we'll drop the graph. Yeah. Because we can use the
Okay.
graphic tomorrow.
And then the video is just, I'm not acknowledging. I mean, it's on, but I'm not turning to it.
Right.
So it's going to go full screen once the video starts, right?
So Chris, yeah, so we'll two-shot on us, we'll welcome in Doug, so it goes to the Y. I'll set him up for the first topic. You can go to the single on him, and as soon as he mentions like, oh, well, my 618 to watch is Nazareth, you could roll the video over top of him. Correct. Yes. Yeah, all the video covers Doug. Screen is just, yeah.
The video will be rolling on the screen? Oh, okay.
We welcome you back to Lehigh Valley Sports Scene. Sheriff Woody and Little Red still with you on this Halloween edition, of Lehigh Valley Sports Scene. Now we're going to switch to a little playoff action for the football district tournament starting just tomorrow.
Yep, it starts on Friday, and obviously we're really looking forward to it. We knew, we need to do a deep dive breakdown. Normally at this time of the week, we would bring in our football guru, Doug Heater, but he's unavailable, so we brought in his even wiser, more holiday appropriate cousin, Guru the Clown, to help us get ready for the District 11 tournament. Guru, let's start with this. In the 6A classification, who's the team you're watching in the tournament?
First, I heard it was appropriate that Heater guy dresses like a clown because he is one. But now, we'll be a little more serious. All right, we're going to start with the District 11 6A bracket. And what's interesting is you can say, well, who's the team to watch? We can look at this, but I'm picking Nazareth as that team to watch, obviously, because this is a team that some people might say, Parkland's playing so well and that whole deal's going on. And you got teams like Freedom, that's number 2 seed that knocked off Liberty last week. But I'm going to go with that number 1 seed as a team to watch. Was that just a shtick, the whole thing? Because I saw the head coming out, and I'm like, should I just keep going or not? Is that Fulkerson? Or is it Kim?
I was like, why aren't they rolling the video? I completely forgot.
I didn't know, because the thing is, I'd have kept talking.
Because I'm looking at the shot. I'm like, why is the shot so wide? And why are we rolling the video?
I see Dan going like this. I'm like, I'm using my stuff here. We got to roll this stuff.
I thought you keep going for sure. I was like, Doug's going to act like he doesn't even notice.
Well, they didn't roll the video, so I had to stop.
See, then I got nervous. I was like, I had to pop out before the video came.
No, they were waiting for the reaction.
And goes away?
Yeah, I tried to just kind of hit back into the background.
Well, you did
You're going to do it again?
Oh.
Because I was ready.
Oh. Yeah. Because then I didn't know, should I be a wise ass and make sure that, yes, Halloween is a holiday, according to Schmitty? But
welcome you back to this Halloween edition of Lehigh Valley Sports Scene. Sheriff Woody and Little Red still with you, but now we're going to switch over to some playoff football action and a little preview of what is to come.
Yeah, obviously, you know, normally it's this time of the week that we would bring in our football guru, Doug Heater, but he's off doing whatever he's doing. Right. So we thought we would bring in his better looking, smarter, and even more football intelligent cousin here, Guru the Clown. Guru, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start with the 6A classification and the team that you're watching in District 6A.
First of all, this would be a more appropriate costume for that clown Heater. That's what.
Yeah, right.
But I'll have to go with it today. All right, so there's a lot of teams, a lot of quality teams in this 6A class. What the? There's way too many clowns on this show today. All right, where were we? All right, best team in 6A. A lot of teams are playing good football. Freedom's playing well. Parkland's playing well, but let's stay with the top seed in the Nazareth Blue Eagles. This is a team I think has the least amount of flaws, number one, offensively and defensively, and has the best players. Anthony Harris, arguably, if not is, the best athlete, most dangerous player in all of 6A. He can get it done with his legs. He can get it done with his arm. He can extend plays to pass the football. And what we've seen, obviously, defensively, what Nazareth's been able to do this year, sacking a quarterback, Nate Stefanik defensively. But I think what this team did offensively last week against Easton is the biggest deal. A Nazareth team that showed they can run the football. They lost Logan Grom for the season, but they've got Tyler Roan. Harris can run the football. Stefanik can run the football. They had 3 touchdowns on a speed sweep last week. And remember, as we're looking at highlights of their game against Parkland, this is a team that was a drop pass and a broken coverage away from being undefeated.
Now, Guru, we're moving from a team to maybe an individual player. Who would be your potential game-changing player in the 6A playoffs?
This is a guy that I think all season long we've talked about being what I would refer to as an eraser. Things could go wrong, you just scratch things out, and that's Brandon Kamiri for Emmaus. Now, Parkland did a nice job against him a week ago, but throughout the course of the season, he is a player that can make bad plays turn to good. Here's a game against Whitehall where he scored 2 touchdowns, totaling over 120 yards in about 35 seconds. He's a guy that you can have in check for a handful of plays and can break out and make you pay. He can get it done on kick return, so it changes special teams, and he can get it done on the ground. He also takes a lot of pressure away from the passing game. So I think while Harris may be the most complete player in all of District 11 6A, a guy that's the most dangerous and the one that Freedom's got to be concerned about this week is Kamari for sure. The fact that at any given moment, much like a Barry Sanders was in the NFL, you can have him in check, you can have him contained, and he can break one off. So he's a guy that I really think that could be dangerous in this postseason.
Moving from the 6A to the 5A classification, Southern Lehigh Spartans are the top seed in that class. Are they clearly the team to beat in 5A?
I believe so, and I think a little bit has to do with the competition. They've seen a lot of good teams this season. They obviously have the only loss this year to Northwestern, but they're taking on a couple of teams that we don't know a heck of a lot about. Those teams up north in that North Division in the EPC, and also a team like Wyoming Valley West. Here's the thing about Southern Lehigh. John Toman told us, and we did the Northwestern game, listen, everybody says we can't throw the football. They can throw the football. As he stated, we choose not to. They don't have to. Asher Smith's the guy that can get it done. Guys like Cam Fisher can get it done. Hunter Hughes, they have a 3-headed attack in the backfield, but when they need to, Noah Vogel can pass the football. We saw them do that against Northwestern with a couple of key plays that get themselves back in on screens. They had what I would call that tight end pass to the backside of the play. So there's a lot of elements that this Southern Lehigh team can do, plus the fact that they're solid defensively. So I like their quality of competition in a league that was very balanced this year, getting them ready for the playoffs and probably a matchup against East Stroudsburg South for the title.
Now, we already talked about your team to watch in 6A and 5A, but who would be your team in the 4A classification?
Well, I think it's Bethlehem Catholic, and it has a lot to do with the schedule that they've faced. This is the Golden Hawks team that's kind of going in under the radar, so to speak, in this classification. They've won so many of these that I think they're the team to watch. They've played some tough games. They're coming off a tough loss a week ago to Bethlehem Catholic. And part of this is, listen, they've got some big defensive players. They get it done with Tavion Banks defensively. They can get it done defensively. Jeremiah Lyons that plays both sides of the ball, that can play any position on the offensive line. But now we're going to see Banks running the football, and I think that's an element that's extremely tough for a lot of teams that won't see this type of athlete, won't see this type of player in the playoffs. So I think that's the team to beat. They're coming off a tough loss. They played a tough schedule. Listen, this is the team that mercy ruled Parkland this year. They've already got wins over Easton. They battled Nazareth tooth and nail throughout the course of that 48-minute game. So I think when you look at a complete team, that is a team to watch. Maybe not necessarily the team to beat, but obviously a key team to watch in the 4A class.
Well, and they probably have to be. They're the three-time defending champs in that 4A classification, but they're not the #1 seed. Is there another team in 4A that might be sort of a sneaky under-the-radar team?
It's hard to say that the under-the-radar team is the #1 seed in Northwestern, but we have to say that because of what we just talked about from Bethlehem Catholic. So we know what the Golden Hawks can do in the EPC, but Northwestern kind of under the radar snuck through and won 9 consecutive games after dropping the first game of the season to Notre Dame. This is highlights against their toughest game outside of week 1 against Southern Lehigh, where they showed that Devin Bollinger can throw the football but doesn't have to. This is also an example. This was the best regular season game I saw all season. This is an example of what if you give Josh Schneider an extra day, remember they play on Saturday, that's an extra day. You give him an extra day, he incorporated sort of a brand new offense to get his players involved. They ran the football, they moved guys into the backfield from the offensive line. So I like this team to be under the radar. I know that's tough to say from a 1 seed, but the fact that they played in the Colonial League, a lot of people don't give that league a lot of respect. So that's an under the radar, sneaky good team.
Yeah, and kind of that dark horse too in 4A. But in terms of all of the classifications, who might be that team that not everyone would be thinking about? Another kind of under the radar team.
It's tough to say that because I'm going to refer to the #2 seed in the Freedom Patriots, and this is a team that went into the postseason off a tough win last week against Liberty, but not a lot of people have talked about them this season. All right, so their only loss this year was to Nazareth in a close effort, but they haven't won 6 straight like Parkland to close the season. They aren't the #1 seed like Easton is. They're just quietly winning every week. They beat Liberty last week and showed that they can get it done with a punishing ground game in Jalen Stewart. They have probably the best pure quarterback in Jared Jenkins back there. They can get it done with Matt Russin. They got Vinny Rep. They got Gabe Caton. All these players. Plus, it's a solid defense that's done a great job. So I like Freedom to be that team. Listen, they're going to probably, well, they got to get by May. I sent my eraser guy. But if they match up against Parkland, there's a lot of motivation. So that's a nice under-the-radar #2 seed.
The bottom line is we know that lots of fun is to be had coming up and a ton of great matchups. And we're looking forward to being able to bring you a whole host of those games right here on Service Electric. And, of course, we'll have highlights and analysis here on Lehigh Valley Sports Scene. Guru, thanks so much for all of your assistance. Enjoy the rest of this festive day. That's going to do it for this evening's edition of Lehigh Valley Sports Scene. Thank you so much for watching. For our creepy studio dweller, for Guru the Clown, Unicorn, Little Red Riding Hood, I'm Sheriff Woody. Have a wonderful, safe, and happy Halloween, you trick-or-treaters. We'll see everybody tomorrow night.